get in our next guest. The company on our radar right now is Blue Star. Motilal Oswal is quite bullish in the room air conditioner space. They see the industry growing at 15 to 20%, and Blue Star has been confident of outpacing the industry growth even in FY19. Thiagarajan, the joint MD of Blue Star, joins us on the phone line. Good morning, Mr. Thiagarajan, and thanks so much for joining in. Summer is only getting hotter. The last time we spoke to you, you indicated that you're looking to see your summer sales at 30 to 40%. Has it panned out as per your expectations, or has it been even better?
Absolutely. First of all, good morning and thank you for talking to me. The market is doing extremely well. There are rains here and there, but as I had indicated earlier, it will always be there if it is a harsh summer. I see the demand picking up across the country, including Tier 3, 4, 5 markets, and that too for very aspirational high-end products. So we are very bullish about this summer.
I mean, we spoke with you about 20 days back, but this is the peak time for you. Could you give us an update? How has demand shaped up so far in this season?
When I spoke to you last, I had indicated that the growth should be, the market growth should be anywhere between 15 to 20. Like we have done every year, we wanted to grow faster than the market. That was the update I had given. And I said if you wait for 10-15 days, I can pinpoint whether it is going to be 15 or 20% growth for the market. I think it is more like 20. At the same time, in that conversation, we were wondering whether there will be shortage of material. I don't think so. I am of the opinion every player has planned for anywhere between 20 to 25% growth. Therefore, I do not see a shortage of material, but it is going to be a great summer.
Okay, so industry growth at the upper end of the 15 to 20% earlier expectation, closer to 20%. Mr. Thiagarajan, we've also seen an increase in a lot of the commodity prices. Would that imply that prices for ACs would go up?
We had increased the prices sometime in January by around 5 to 6%. We are holding on to that. It's not only the commodity prices. There is also a concern about the foreign exchange, how it will play out. But as you can imagine, the supply chain gets filled in around 6 months earlier. So as far as summer is concerned, I think the margins should hold. I do not see a major concern. But as I indicated, some 0.5% here or something like that, it is perfectly fine. As long as the volumes come, the scale effect will compensate the operating margin. So therefore, I don't think that is the concern. On the other hand, the consumer finance demand has gone up substantially. 40% of the sales is happening through the 0% finance, where you buy out the interest. I am seeing this trend dramatically growing. See, the one end, Tier 3, 4, 5 is growing. Second, they are buying high-end inverter products. They are not going for a L1 product. Third, they are easily availing, thanks to the companies like Bajaj Finance and all, or TVS, where very, very consumer-friendly finance schemes are available through the digital platform. That is growing. That can affect the margin by 0.25% to 0.5%.
Sure. Just a quick point. The 20% you talked about was for FY19, Mr. Thiagarajan, right?
That is right. In the summer, there should be a greater skew.
Of course, yeah.
Normally, it should be in the order of summer standalone should be at least 30%. The new, not so new, but relatively new thing was inverter ACs, right? I mean, garnering a larger and larger share. But could you give us an update if that is still true? It is true. The table has been merged, the energy efficiency table, 5-star and the inverter. There is not something called a 5-star fixed speed. It is a 5-star inverter. So earlier, the ratio or the total pie should be only 30%. I expect this year it touch 45%. In other words, 45% of the sales should be inverter. By 2020, I think it should be around 65% of the market should have moved in there. Though we expected by 2020 it will move away, I don't think in India anything goes away completely. Even today, window air conditioners still survive.
Right.
So I would expect inverter share to reach around 60 to 65% by 2020.
Right.
Are inverter ACs higher margin products for Blue Star?
Yes, it is a higher margin product, but much more than that is the fact that if you take the inverter alone, our ranking will be much higher. In all air conditioners put together, we will be 5 or 6. In inverter alone, we will be 3 or 4. We tend to get a higher share in inverter air conditioners.
Okay, so by say FY20, if you could give us some statistics with inverter ACs contributing more and more to the company's growth, what will the company's margins look like considering inverter ACs come in at higher margins? What would your market share improve? You have a stronger hold in inverter AC market. So give us some numbers, say by FY20, how you see the picture.
So our strategic plan is made on FY21, so I can easily relate to a 3-year roadmap. In FY20, remember, there is going to be one energy label change. That is FY21, December 31, 2020, there will be energy label change. There will be Paris-Kigali Agreement related certain refrigerant regulation. Keeping all this in mind, and the overall economic performance of Indian economy as well as the consumer spending, our goal is to reach a market share of 15%. And at that point of a time, I think the market will be 7.5 million. And so barring, what will happen to next elections and whether the government will be stable, all that I'm ignoring for the time being, or I'm not allowing it to affect my mind. So on a 7.5 million market, our market share goal is 15, and R&D investments or manufacturing, everything is based on that. Operating margins, we had always maintained it will be somewhere between 9.5% to 10.5%. And as you can imagine, as we go ahead and invest in backward integration or manufacturing capacity, I think it will be between 10 to 10.5% because I have to account for certain other investments to be made in terms of revenue investments itself. So margin guideline 10 to 10.5% is the goal. It's not a guideline. I am talking about what is our aspiration. Market share goal 15, and inverter part of it should be around 65% of the total market.
This market share and this 10.5% margin, I mean, by when you said? 7.5 lakh AC market, right?
The FY21 goal.
FY21, okay, sure.
That's today, last year our market share was 11.5. For FY19, market share goal is 12.5.
Sure.
And the margin I'm maintaining between 9.5 to 10.5.
Got it.
So that's it.
Thanks very much, Mr. Thiagarajan. I appreciate you joining in and good speaking with you. So it's good going. I mean, so 20 days back, Blue Star told us that they think the market could grow between 15-20, but now they're saying it should grow FY19. I mean, the sales and sales for the industry for FY19 should grow at the upper end, which is 20%, and everything else remains on track. We will take a very quick break. Our first on the show, we come back.